First, let's talk about the Black Mariners, because one of the big claims you make in the book is that Black Mariners are essential to the Portuguese Empire. In many ways, they power that empire.
And so, this is one of the ways in which historians of slavery, I think, try to transform the
Mhm.
existing literature of what people have said and argued about the Portuguese Empire. And I'm really just following what colonial administrators at the time themselves said. And for them, slavery and the kind of labor that enslaved people contributed to the Portuguese Empire was so foundational that they could
Mhm.
not envision a society without it, right? It was
Right.
very much the cornerstone of what they
Mhm.
saw themselves doing, the cornerstone of their conception of economic development at the time. And so the reason why I argue that enslaved mariners played such a vital role is because during the period I study, basically enslaved mariners, which is the first decades of the
Mhm.
19th century, enslaved mariners I've tabulated comprise at least 27.1% of all
Wow.
laborers on the transatlantic slave trade, right? So
Wow.
at least, almost half of all of these ships would be people who were born in Africa or their ancestors, right, had been born in Africa. And, why do I argue it's so crucial? Well, you don't have basically agricultural production
Mhm.
in colonial Brazil without the transatlantic slave trade. And so it's really a sign of the kind of unhealth of the conditions in which enslaved people were laboring that you had to have this really robust slave trade. And without this maritime labor, you would not have a labor force, and you therefore would not have these forms of
Mhm.
commodity production that are based on plantation labor.